Today we're going to work on a few electrical items on the Porsche 914. The trunk and license plate light have a short. The high-low beam dimmer switch is not working. I have a missing hazard switch and the horn doesn't work either. So let's jump into it. So here we are. It looks like they put in some aftermarket fuse panel, so not a big deal. I kind of like it. It's labeled and everything, so pretty easy to figure out. What I don't quite get is you can see some wires here hanging down from the underneath the dash and that are taped off. That's to the hazard warning lights, and for some reason they did not install a switch, and basically, as you can see right here, covered over it. The wiper washers don't seem to work properly. Well, they blow fuses, and the license plate and trunk light are blowing fuses, and it could be several things looking at the wiring schematic. But for now, what I'm going to check is I'm going to pull the license plate lights and check the trunk light. So the first thing I'm going to look at here is the trunk light, and I pulled the what I believe is the gray wires. They're kind of dirty. I tried to clean them up. The two gray wires, which are the positive, and then the brown wire is the ground. So we're going to test those and see what we get. So we've got the lights out, and I'm going to clean them up first before I do any testing, so we get a good connection, everything we need. So here we go. Okay, pretty much not much resistance there. Let's ground first and see what we get. Open circuit, which that's what we should be getting. Open circuit. Okay, same with this. Open circuit. So we're looking pretty good there. So we'll try to do the bulbs. About 4 ohms of resistance, about 3.6. I think we're okay. Well, doesn't seem to be a light issue for now. We'll take a look. Here's my schematic, and here's my license plate lights. What I've got is, of course, we have the ground. But this gray wire goes to the license plate lights, then goes over here to the trunk light, and then over here to the fuse box. Then it goes out of the fuse box into the light switch, which provides the power. Somewhere along the line, it was grounding. The positive was grounding. So that's what we have to figure out. I've traced the ground to 7. Which is the license plate lights and the trunk light. What I'm finding out is this wire goes into the switch here, and these 2 wires run the rheostat. This is off the rheostat, the dimmer, and for the dash lights, and these control the dash lights, and this is where my short is. It's going directly to ground, so it's grounding out wire here, which is the license plate light. But I think I've got a bad rheostat in this switch. And I'm gonna put it back together and see if things work. Well, I was messing around. I put the fuse in and everything was working okay. It wasn't shorting out, so I turned the rheostat in the switch and blew the fuse, and a puff of smoke came out of the switch. So it's the rheostat. I'll replace it when I get another one, but for now I'm going to put it back together. It should work fine as long as I don't touch the rheostat. Okay, so the copper color is the bulb, and this is the ground. So brown is the ground, gray is the positive. We'll do that one, and we'll do this one. Hook up the license plate light. This is going to the filament, and this would be the negative. Okay, let's test it out, make sure everything works. So my trunk light is working. License plate lights are working. Very careful not to ground them out. And I'm going to throw some tape around these just to protect them. Okay, so if my lights go out and I blow a fuse, I know what I did. I touched the rheostat and don't want to do that until I find a new switch. Okay, we're going to put this back together. Okay, so my license plate lights are working, and so is my trunk light. And I'll admit, I blew a fuse again because in order to put the knob on, I had to twist it all the way to the right, which that blows the fuse on the rheostat. But now we're good. We're gonna address the issue of the horn not working, the high-low beam not working, wiper not working. So we'll pull the steering wheel and see what we find out. Okay, well, this might be the reason the horn doesn't work. Looks like they've replaced this part of this wire and the connector is gone. All right, let's take off the steering wheel. Okay. All right. Okay, let's get this out. Not sure I'm doing this right, so let me look into it. Okay, so in order to get to the screws in the cover, we're gonna have to take off the knee bolster for the padded lower dash. I ended up unplugging it, and of course this slides right out. So this is what we're going to take a look at on the bench. Okay, so I bought this from Auto Atlanta, $39. Pretty affordable if you ask me. Saw quite a few on eBay for, well, a little over 100. So we'll see how this works. I think we'll hook it up first and just make sure that it operates everything like it's supposed to. First thing I'm gonna do is this broke off, and I think this is the problem, and we'll fix that first by adding a little connector. Okay, so let's get this out of the way first. Yeah, it looks like someone did a repair here already. So take this off. And let's plug this in. Ooh, that's not very snug. Wow. Don't like that much. Interesting.
Connected.
Well, this doesn't seem to be doing anything. So I'm guessing it's my relay. Something's not right. Oh well, okay. Okay, so I dropped the fuse box down, and here I've got this piece here, this relay. Not sure what this clip's for, but yeah, there's something going on here. Look, the headlights are... Yeah, something's not right. This relay may be bad. Everything's working now. Okay, well, I guess the next thing to do is order a relay. Looking at this, if I ground it, kind of makes it act funny.
Connected.
Lights are out. No high beam. So if I take it and not ground it, then it works fine. So I'm gonna have to look at the schematic and try to determine what's going on. I looked up relays, high-low beam relays for this Porsche, and a lot of them have 5. Look at this. I'm just moving it around and the headlights are going on and off. And it's almost like it's got loose wiring. Doesn't make sense. It's something to do with the relay, I think. Something's going on here. I'll have to check the wiring, see if I can jump them and just to see if it is the relay. I've determined that it is hopefully the flasher. It just, I think internally it's a little bit messed up, shorting out or just worn out. So I'm going to put this steering wheel section back together. I'm going to use the old dimmer switch, which many of the cars that I've driven, the dimmer switch clicks. This one doesn't really click, neither do the new ones. They don't click. But the biggest concern I have with the ones from Auto Atlanta, I bought the cheaper one, not the more expensive one, is the plug really does not fit very well. It slides on and off. I guess if you're going to use it, you'd want to tape it. But this one is quite snug. So we're going to stick with that. And we're going to put this steering wheel back together and wait for the new relay. You know, working on older cars, there's always, it's not as simple as one item doesn't work and you locate that item and you fix it. It's like there's a whole varying amount of things that could be wrong, including wiring, connections. Old cars just are a lot tougher to diagnose. And watching these videos online and some of these guys are professionals, they know what they're doing. But watching them just right through it real quick, fixing everything, no issues. I know that that's not the way it works. Everything seems to take longer unless you repeatedly do it over and over. But in any case, I have fumbled with this, probably spent 2 hours messing around with this. So anyway, we'll get back to it. Well, I certainly didn't.
Next
Oh, wow. Wow. Boy, oh boy. Huh. Well, we didn't fix the horn, that's for sure. Well, we gotta fix that. All right. Okay, so back at it again. I've determined the brown and white wire is the horn, and basically that wire needs to be grounded. The switch needs to ground it for the relay to operate. The funny thing is that I tracked it to here and nothing happens without the ignition on, which to me seems kind of strange that you wouldn't have a horn unless you have ignition, which would make it kind of an issue if you happen to lose battery power and you're driving along and you needed to use your horn, you wouldn't have access to it. But that's just a thought. So we've gotten this far, so now we'll proceed and figure out why the horn does not operate with the actual steering wheel button or steering wheel assembly. So we'll put it back together and figure that out. Okay, so we'll protect this a little bit. Make sure this is up. Make sure this is okay, so we've got that far. It needs to touch this here, I'm assuming. So let's see if we can get that to do that. Okay. All right, I think I did find the issue. Let's put this on and see what we got going here. Turn that off. These are bolt. Okay. Now you should be able to connect this to this and hopefully not pinch it. And if we touch the two together, we should have horn, right? Of course, you gotta turn the key on, like I said.
Not yet.
Okay, I think I fixed it. So after replacing the actual switch and finding out that wasn't the issue, determined that this was the issue, and messing around with it, I got it to work again, and then it quit working. So I'm guessing it's the connections, and what I'm going to do is get a little of this grease on a Q-tip, and we're just going to put some of this on the contacts and see if that takes care of the issue. So here we go. I'll do one at a time. That's to make sure I don't get the wires messed up. And it may be this relay, I don't know. I did order a new one. The 5-prong was all that was available, and I actually made a video of just testing to make sure how it should be wired up, and I think it will be fine if I need it. But I'm going to try this first just to see if we can just go with the original. And it looks like somebody's had this open before, so there's a good chance it's probably got an issue. So let's see what we got going here.
Not yet.
Yep, seems to be working okay, so we'll leave it at that now.
So the following issues have been repaired: license plate and trunk light, low and high beam, and the horn. The hazard switch was totally missing and the hole was covered up on the dash. The wires were hanging down and taped off, but it was a pretty easy fix. I still have to take on the following problems. The central cold air box blower fan does not work. When I slide the switch over to turn on the fan, it shorts out the fuse. The wipers are on the same circuit, so they don't work either. It sounds like I have an issue either with the controller or the fan or the wiring in between. Right now, if you look at these wires, I've got the fan blower motor disconnected from the fuse box, so we're not blowing another fuse. Consequently, this allows the wipers to work, and it looks like I'll have to pull the central cold air blower box to see if the fan is shorted or there's a wiring issue.
So now we'll put everything back together.
So now that we've got some of the issues out of the way on this 73914, I've got some more things that need to be done. In the future, I'll be doing work on the dashboard as it's cracked. I want to remove the wrap on the hood. I want to address the engine oil leaks. The speedometer is not working. The emergency brake needs adjusting, and the light is not working. The cold air box fan is not working, obviously, and we want to see what's going on there. And I would like to repaint the car.
Okay, so keep an eye out for more videos on the progress of the Triumph TR8 and my other Olympic Blue 73 Porsche.
Thanks for watching.